Tonight, chaos and carnage in Georgia. Mass shooting in Georgia that left at least 4 killed, more than half a dozen injured in a day of senseless violence. Authorities say one suspect has been taken into custody alive. The horrific scene there just 1 month since schools reopened. Stories of survival and details about the shooter. We have all the late-breaking developments tonight. Plus, from northern Africa to war-torn Haiti, the Montana mountains, California coast, South American border towns, and more, our prime focus has taken our viewers around the world, telling some of the most underreported stories of our time. Tonight, we're in Bethlehem, taking an in-depth look at Israeli and IDF prisons and allegations of rampant human rights violations, and hear from formerly incarcerated Palestinians and a prison guard as they recount the horrors they say they saw from the inside.
Sde Teiman, which is a military facility, as we understand it, is really only the tip of the iceberg, because those kind of behavior became the norm in each and every detention facility.
And
my thing is, hopefully, and it will, it just all stays on record. It inspires other people, other kids to, to follow and to rock out and have faith in their voices.
They are West Coast-born titans of hip-hop, and now they're joining forces. DJ Quick and Jason Martin are returning to the music scene with a collaboration that is breathing new life into the genre. Tonight, the two music legends sit down for a rare interview on their new Step and Sound.
You gotta stay on alert. Life dangerous but subtle. Problem and quick back to...
Good evening, everyone. I'm Linsey Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We're following those stories and much more, including the countdown to the first face-off between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Plus, the 49ers' first-round draft pick is still recovering after being shot during an attempted robbery. But tonight, it's the hero cop who rushed to help save his life who's speaking out. And renewable energy, healthcare, and more. We have a look at the fastest-growing and high-paying jobs in America by the numbers. But tonight, just as the school year is getting underway in so many communities, we do begin with a deadly mass shooting inside a Georgia high school. Law enforcement rushed to the scene in Winder, Georgia, about an hour from Atlanta at Appalachia High School. Inside, officers carried weapons, clearing classrooms one by one, leading students away, told to leave everything behind. At least 2 students and 2 teachers are dead, 9 more wounded and hospitalized. Hundreds of students gathered on the athletic fields, parents and caregivers desperate for news, some running out to find out if their loved ones were involved. We're learning new details about the investigation, the shooter, and how he was ultimately brought down. As the presidential candidates weigh in on this tragedy, our team is standing by with it all. Faith Abube leads us off from Georgia.
Tonight, terrifying scenes that are now all too familiar. Students pouring out of a school after a 14-year-old fellow student allegedly opened fire. State, local, and federal law enforcement racing to Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia, northeast of Atlanta, just before 10:30 this morning. 2 students and 2 teachers killed, 9 other victims taken to the hospital. The suspect surrendering to authorities without a struggle.
The shooter is in custody. His name is Colt. That's C-O-L-T Gray. He is a 14-year-old student here at the high school. He will be charged with murder and he will be tried as an adult.
We'll file line down this aisle right here after this deputy.
Sophomore Alexandra Romero shooting this video as officers led students to safety from inside the darkened classroom.
Let's move with purpose, come on.
It was a small little ball of us, like all holding each other, and I remember like my friends crying. They were all scared, and then 2 police officers came in with their guns, telling us not to move, that it's still not safe.
At first, Joshua Malik thought it was a drill.
It was very quiet. A lot of people were crying. It was like everybody was scared, and people were screaming, calling their moms and everything. And the teacher was making sure everybody was he was trying to keep the class calm and everything.
A text message from student Ethan Clark to his mother, Erin. School shooting right now. I'm scared. Please, I'm not joking. Mom responding instantly. I'm leaving work. Ethan writing, I love you. The students taken out to the football field, some forming a prayer circle. All other schools in the area locked down.
Everybody came to get their children.
Gwendolyn Cook recording this video as she rushed to that football field to find her grandkids, along with hundreds of other frantic, terrified parents. Jonathan Mills, one of many parents who had to run miles to get to their kids because of all the roadblocks in the area.
It hits harder when it's home, it hits harder, as a cop myself, dealing with people you don't know is different, but actually knowing that it's your child that could potentially be the one that you have to hold, or last time you spoke to him was this morning saying, have a good day, that kind of thing, it's different.
Late today, the sheriff nearly overcome.
I never imagined that I would be speaking to the media in my career over something that happened today, the pure evil that happened today. This hits home for me. I was born and raised here. I went to school in this school system. My kids go to this school system. My heart hurts for our community, but I want to make it very clear that hate will not prevail in this county.
Of course, we've seen this all too often. Faith Abube joins us now. Faith, I know you've been there all day talking with students and parents alike. Give us a sense of what you've been seeing and hearing.
Well, Lindsay, we saw parents today rushing to the school here on foot, cell phones in hand, concern on their faces, and then coming out later relieved after reuniting with their children. But of course, there are 2 students, 2 teachers dead, 9 others who are injured. This entire community is in mourning. The school is closed for the rest of the week as investigators try to track down a motive. Lindsay.
Faith Abube, our thanks to you. ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is here now. And Aaron, at that news conference a short time ago, authorities revealed a number of details, including the first information that we're starting to get about that 14-year-old suspect. What can you tell us?
Lindsay, we have seen so many of these cases, haven't we, of armed young men targeting schools. Here, a 14-year-old shooter surrendered when confronted by police. The authorities did not say what weapon he used, how he obtained the weapon, or even how he got it inside the school. The sheriff said it did not appear, though, that Colt Gray had been targeting anyone specifically or had any connections to the 2 teachers and 2 students he allegedly killed. The suspect, we're told, has been answering questions, and investigators have spoken to his parents, but they were quick to point out they do not know why he allegedly attacked his own school, and the sheriff said, Lindsay, they may never know. But what is clear tonight is this is the first deadly K-12 school shooting in Georgia in at least 25 years. Lindsay?
Just horrific. Aaron Katursky, our thanks to you. Both candidates are responding to the deadly school shooting on the campaign trail. Vice President Harris in New Hampshire saying it doesn't have to be this way. Former President Trump calling the alleged shooter a sick and deranged monster. Meanwhile, the two are set to face off of that high-stakes debate just 6 days away now, right here on ABC. Our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce reports.
Tonight, before a crowd in New Hampshire, Vice President Kamala Harris denouncing the school shooting in Georgia, saying it doesn't have to be this way.
It's just outrageous that every day in our country, in the United States of America, that parents have to send their children to school worried about whether or not their child will come home alive. It's senseless. It is. We've got to stop it. And we have to end this epidemic of gun violence in our country once and for all. You know, it doesn't have to be this way.
Former President Donald Trump releasing a statement saying our hearts are with the victims. Trump saying these cherished children were taken from us far too soon by a sick and deranged monster, but making no mention of how to address gun violence. Harris came to New Hampshire to outline her plan to help small businesses, part of a broader effort to bring her economic proposals into focus in the run-up to the debate.
I believe America's small businesses are an essential foundation to our entire economy.
Harris's goal to help launch 25 million small businesses. She would drastically expand tax deductions for startup costs and take steps to reduce red tape and ease regulations, including creating a standard deduction for small businesses. Today, Harris pitting her vision against Trump's.
He plans to give billionaires massive tax cuts and to cut corporate taxes by over $1 trillion, even as they pull in record profits.
Tomorrow, Harris heads to Pittsburgh to hunker down and prepare for the debate, her first face-to-face encounter with her rival. Trump today says he's ready.
You know what I say about debates? And I think this is true with a lot of people, but they don't say it. I've been preparing all my life for this debate.
And boarding her plane, Harris sounding confident, too. And some news tonight from Liz Cheney, the former Republican congresswoman who has become an outspoken critic of Donald Trump's and, of course, co-chaired the January 6th committee, just announcing that she will, in fact, be voting for Kamala Harris. Cheney saying, quote, because of the danger Donald Trump poses, not only am I not voting for Donald Trump, but I will be voting for Kamala Harris. This also comes after Jimmy McCain, the son of late Republican Senator John McCain, announced that he, too, will be voting for Kamala Harris. Jimmy McCain, a veteran who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, has argued that Donald Trump politicized a recent visit to Arlington National Cemetery. Jimmy McCain saying it, quote, blows me away. Lindsay.
Mary Bruce from the White House, thank you. Of course, the ABC News presidential debate just 6 days away. Next Tuesday night, right here on ABC, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump both on that stage. I'll be moderating with our David Muir debate right here on ABC News Live, 9 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday night. The Justice Department is sounding the alarm about Russia's efforts to interfere with our elections. They are taking action against RT, a state-run news agency that broadcasts around the world that they say spent millions on a social media propaganda campaign. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, the Attorney General warning the American people that Russia's efforts to interfere in this year's U.S. presidential election is intensifying. The Biden administration announcing new sanctions and charges, alleging that senior aides to Vladimir Putin are engaged in a sweeping operation aimed at supplying millions of Americans with disinformation.
We have no tolerance for attempts by authoritarian regimes to exploit our democratic system of government.
The government seized 32 bogus website domains purchased by Russian security services that mirror legitimate news sites, creating fake stories and using authentic-looking logos as part of a campaign called Doppelganger. For example, this looks like a story from the Washington Post about Ukraine, but it isn't. And also today, DOJ bringing charges against 2 employees of RT, also known as Russia Today, alleging the state-controlled media company funded by Russia is still at it after being forced out of the U.S. in 2022. The FBI saying it uncovered a scheme involving nearly $10 million laundered through a network of foreign shell entities to covertly fund a Tennessee media firm. That company posting nearly 2,000 videos on social media that have garnered more than 16 million views on YouTube alone.
Our thanks to Pierre Thomas. And in Israel tonight, the Israeli military says chilling new images show the tunnel where the bodies of 6 hostages were found. They were killed 48 to 72 hours before their bodies were discovered. ABC's Marcus Moore reports from Israel.
This is the Hamas tunnel shaft where the IDF says 6 hostages, including Israeli-American Hersh Goldberg, Poland, were executed just 48 to 72 hours before IDF forces recovered their bodies. ABC News could not independently verify the location, but the IDF claims access to the tunnel was hidden in what appears to have been a child's bedroom. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tonight standing firm, saying there will be no deal with Hamas to free the remaining hostages without Israeli control over the Philadelphia corridor along the border with Egypt.
I'm willing to make a deal. I made one already. But leaving Philadelphia does not advance the release of the hostages.
The White House today tight-lipped, but earlier this week pushing back, saying Netanyahu originally agreed to a deal in May that will remove troops along that corridor.
That's been on the table now for how many months? We still believe these gaps can be narrowed. We still believe it's an achievable outcome.
Right now, with hopes of a ceasefire out of reach, anger and protest grip Israel for a 4th straight day.
We need to seal the deal. Please save us, help us. We can't breathe anymore.
Our thanks to Marcus Moore. Tonight, the Columbus Blue Jackets are remembering their star player and teammate Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. The two were killed by an alleged drunk driver, describing their loss and making a plea to save other lives.
Well, there's a huge hole in our lineup. There's even a larger one in our hearts.
If you think about driving after a few beers or a fun night, please, please, please do not find a way home. Thank you.
Memorials for Gaudreau, known as Johnny Hockey, are now growing outside the arena. Fans remembering the 31-year-old husband and father of 2. And we still have much more ahead here on Prime tonight, including some bumps in the road for the EV market as incentives for consumers to buy electric cars dries up. Now car makers are softening their pledges to phase out combustion engines, the latest company to change course. But next, we are taking an in-depth look at Israeli and IDF prisons and allegations of rampant human rights violations, and hear from formerly incarcerated Palestinians and a prison guard as they recount the horrors they say they saw from the inside.
فقال لي وشد علي في الكلام، قال لي أنت قاتل. قلت أنا لست قاتلا وأنا لست في صفك ولا في صفهم. فأرجع علي غطاء العين. ثم دخلوا علي مجموعة رجال من وحدة النحشن وانهالوا علي بالضرب.
Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines, from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming.
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Clashing over national security.
What's happening today? Tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The worries on Wall Street.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between. Catching up on sleep during the weekend could be good for your heart.
Non-alcoholic bars are popping up in a growing number of cities. That's the spirit.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go.
The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a carry in it.
How important it made to USA. Great work.
Hi, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail?
David.
David.
I'm David Muir.
I know you are.
You
Watch
do.
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different.
The critics agree.
Hated the Brat Pack. What a disaster.
Why did we take it as an offense?
I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything.
Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium.
1985? I think we could have.
They both want to be your next president. Now, finally, Kamala Harris.
Do we believe in the promise of America?
Donald Trump.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Face to face. Historic. The ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Linsey Davis. Tuesday live on ABC and streaming on ABC News Live, Hulu, and Disney+. The ABC News presidential debate.
Welcome back, everyone. From northern Africa to the mountains of Scotland, the California coast, America's urban city centers, South American border towns, and more. Throughout our Prime Focus pieces, our ABC News reporters are shining a light on some of the most pressing and underreported stories of our time. And tonight, we'd like to report on yet another story that's happening behind the scenes. In tonight's Prime Focus, we're in Israel, reporting from one of the country's military prisons, Stephanopoulos, and speak to a former guard who is peeling back the curtain on the alleged atrocities he says he saw in plain sight, kept away from the public as formerly incarcerated Palestinians now speak out. ABC's Britt Clennett reports from Bethlehem.
في الليل لا أستطيع النوم. لا أنام مثل أي إنسان عادي بسبب هذا الظلم الذي وقع علي.
Limping, hunched over and cradling his arm, after 9 months in an Israeli prison, Moazzez Abayat is a broken man.
Nice to meet you.
From his home in Bethlehem, Moazzez describes to us the abuse he says he received at the hands of the Israeli guards inside Kitziot prison.
قبل أسري أنا إنسان رياضي جسد مشدود.
This is the moment he walked out of prison, released without charge after 9 months of incarceration.
كان في رأسي ضرب في هذه المنطقة بمواسير حديدية وأداة حديدية على رأسي. يدي اليمنى كسرت من هذه المنطقة وكنت أعاني منها وما زلت أعاني منها إصابات. كما كسرت قدمي من هنا من هذا الاتجاه وأنا أعاني لا أستطيع. كما تعرضت لحروق انظروا لحروق في أقدامي.
Arrested at his home in late October, Moazzez was accused of having links to Hamas.
أنا إنسان مدني أعزل، لم تعتقلني من جبهة قتال ولا من دبابة مصفحة. فقال لي وشد علي في الكلام، قال لي أنت قاتل. قلت له أنا لست قاتلا وأنا لست في صفك ولا في صفهم. فأرجع علي غطاء العين. ثم دخلوا علي مجموعة رجال من وحدة النحشن وانهالوا علي بالضرب.
Moazzez says he was routinely stripped naked and hit in his genitals. These men seen here in video circulating online in the early months of the war in Gaza, stripped before being transported to Israeli detention facilities. Since Hamas's terrorist attack on October 7th, the Palestinian prison population has almost doubled as part of a sweeping crackdown in Gaza and the West Bank. According to Israeli human rights group B'Tselem, who advocate for Palestinian rights, around half have been held in administrative detention, meaning, like Moazzez, they can be held without charge. Since the war began, an unknown number of Palestinians arrested by the IDF have also been taken to a now notorious military facility in the Negev desert, Sde Teman. Those who have been inside it call it Israel's Guantanamo.
So it wasn't very clear to me in the beginning what Sde Teman would be.
This former prison guard speaking to ABC News, his face and voice concealed at his request.
They told us that as we're like guarding these cells, we're supposed to not allow them to speak or move or peek under their blindfolds. All of the detainees were blindfolded 24/7 basically.
He recounts one punishment when a detainee peeked through his blindfold.
They took him to a relatively hidden place near the cell, and I could hear, banging on the metal wall. They brought him back to the cell, and I could see how the guy's wrists and arms were really visibly bruised. And he showed, his ribcage bruised and bloodied.
He says some soldiers were knowingly and deliberately violent.
There's something about Sde Teman which was so shocking to me is how cold-blooded it all was. Because in the war in Gaza, there's this sense of, danger and urgency, which sort of makes a lot of mistakes admissible as mistakes. And I feel like this can't be a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's all done in complete calm. I honestly think that the only way these things can ever stop is if they're exposed.
A doctor who spent time in Sde Teman also speaking out on the condition we not name him or show his face.
When I looked around, all of the patients were restrained in a way that goes beyond what I would expect while in a medical facility. Which means each one of them, all of their arms and legs were strapped with handcuffs to the side of the bed, so that it would be basically impossible for them to move or try to reach with their hands, even to their own bodies. Besides that, everyone was blindfolded. Even when we were visiting them, we would not move the blindfolds. Patients we had the opportunity to interact with were naked, besides a diaper. If you think about laying in a bed, unable to move, unable to see, defecating and urinating on yourself as an adult, in my book, that's torture.
This is as far as we can get into the Sde Teman military base. That's after months of serious allegations of abuse against Palestinian prisoners.
This chilling CCTV footage purportedly showing the night that reservists are accused of sexually assaulting a detainee inside Sde Teman. Soldiers appearing to take the prisoner behind a row of shields. The footage airing on Israel's Channel 12, the edited 12-second clip part of the visual evidence in the heart of an investigation. The detainee taken to a nearby hospital with life-threatening internal injuries. 10 reservists arrested in July in connection with the alleged assault. 5 remain under house arrest. The lawyers for the accused guards deny the allegations. In a statement to ABC News, the IDF said it, quote, rejects claims concerning the systematic abuse of detainees in its facilities, including through violence, sexual violence or torture. Any abuse of detainees violates the law and IDF directives and as such is strictly prohibited. They say they investigate allegations of abuse within the prison system. The arrests sparking anger among Israel's far right. Crowds seen here trying to storm both Sder Timan and the detention facility the accused soldiers were held in July, defending the arrested soldiers' right to treat the prisoners how they will. Many Sder Timan detainees have been released back into Gaza without charge. The rest have been transferred into the Israeli prison system. That system run by this man, far-right Minister for National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir.
קייטנה חייבת להיפסק. לא יכול להיות מצב שבו מחבלים ארורים שרצחו ילדים, רצחו נשים, יקבלו תנאים של קייטנה.
Seen here boasting about the conditions inside those jails, saying one of his highest goals is to worsen the conditions of the terrorists in the prisons and to reduce their rights to the legal minimum. He goes on to say, I have already proposed a much simpler solution of enacting the death penalty for terrorists, which would solve the overcrowding issue.
The most racist, even sadistic minister Israel ever had was put by the prime minister to be the minister responsible over two of the state systems that have the most potential to be violent and cruel. That's the police and the prisons.
What we heard from witnesses is in line with a major report by Israeli human rights group B'Tselem, which in the past has accused Israel of being a, quote, apartheid regime and no longer a democracy. They say 60 Palestinians have died in Israeli custody between October 7th and when this report was released in August.
Sder Timan, which is a military facility, as we understand it, is really only the tip of the iceberg, because those kind of behavior became the norm in each and every detention facility, whether it is of the Israeli army or the Israeli prison system. When you see something that happened in 16 different facilities to thousands of people, what else can it be rather than a policy?
Asked about claims of abuses like Moazaz's and those described in the B'Tselem report, in a statement to ABC News, IPS, the Israel Prison Service, said they were not aware of the allegations ABC News raised and prisoners have a right to file a complaint.
I guess the argument from the right would be October 7th was a horrific attack and they're trying to prevent it happening again.
October 7th was definitely a horrific day and a horrific attack, criminal. But to take advantage of this collective trauma in order to fundamentally change the system and to shape it according to their racist and violent agenda, that is something cynical, but again, also very, very scary for what's going on now, but also when I think about the future.
Why are you speaking out?
A lot of it comes off a sense of guilt. I did not speak out when I could have in real time. So many of those things didn't make any sense. Besides, revenge. We sort of dehumanized them. We took out the human condition.
And back in Bethlehem, Moazez cradling his baby boy born while he was in prison.
زوجتي أنجبت لي صبياً أو مولوداً وأنا لست عندها. فهذا سبب لي حزن كبير في القلب.
He says sometimes he cannot even recognize his own family. His physical and mental scars on show for all to see. Moazez says the prison still lives inside of him.
The IPS, Israel Prison Service and Prime Minister's Office, denied ABC News' request for an on-camera interview. The IDF did tell us in a statement that they take allegations of abuse seriously, and such allegations go against IDF values. They said that they will take action when necessary, including criminal investigations of personnel. Our thanks to Britt and the entire team on the ground for that report. And we still have much more to get to here on Prime tonight. Coming up, what caused London's deadly Grenfell Tower fire? The final report blames regulators and dishonest companies for the disaster that took the lives of 72 people. But next, the Bureau of Labor is out with its list of the country's fastest growing jobs. See which industries will be in demand and experiencing a hiring boom in the next 10 years.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions.
Operational nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA?
Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you. Thank you, David. Good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. Whenever news breaks,
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
Betrayal is one of the hardest types of trauma to overcome.
This is her knight in shining armor.
Everything felt right. All of a sudden, I found this hidden folder. I opened it. I don't think I can say it. I'm sorry. It's shocking. My stomach just dropped. He just really didn't think I had it in me to do something. So I did.
Betrayal, a Father's Secret, the all-new season on Hulu.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. Clashing over national security.
What's happening today? Tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The worries on Wall Street.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between. Catching up on sleep during the weekend could be good for your heart.
Non-alcoholic bars are popping up in a growing number of cities. That's the spirit.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food.
It's all coming up on GMA3.
You're gonna love it. We'll see you then.
GMA3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know.
I love that.
Me
too.
Reporting from the Normandy coast for the 80th anniversary of D-Day, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back, everyone. Just what will be the fastest growing careers over the next decade? For universities, high schoolers, and investors, the latest projections just published by the government's Bureau of Labor Statistics are critical, and that is tonight's By the Numbers. Perhaps it's no surprise that workers in the field of renewable energy will soon be in high demand. A 60% increase in wind turbine service technicians is projected over the next decade, which would make it the fastest growing job. At number 2, a 48% increase is projected for for installers of solar panels. Still, those jobs won't necessarily be plentiful because the renewables industry should remain fairly small. But more than 2 million healthcare and social assistance jobs in the private sector are projected to be created over the next decade, easily the most plentiful career choice as our society ages. Also noteworthy, the number of workers as a share of the population will likely decline to 61% in 2033, down from 66% in 2003. Only higher birth rates and more immigrant workers would reverse that trend. Fast-growing and plentiful also doesn't necessarily mean lucrative. $145,000 is projected to be the median annual salary for computer and information scientists, making IT the most lucrative among fast-growing careers. And because you may be wondering what's the job that's disappearing the fastest, with a 38% decline projected through 2033, you'll soon see fewer typists and also word processors. Blame AI for the disappearance of those jobs. And we still have much more ahead here on Prime. Next, a Miami family watched in anguish as a body was carried out of a nursing home facility Monday. In a grisly update, they say it's the father and grandfather they reported missing 2 weeks ago, and that he was stuffed in a closet for 12 days. And coming up, Megan Wright sits down with groundbreaking artists DJ Quick and Jason Martin to discuss their new album as it captures the artists at new stages in their careers. Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland, from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol, Mayfield, Kentucky, Minneapolis, Mexico, Tongass National Forest, Alaska. Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Clashing over national security.
What's happening today? Tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The worries on Wall Street.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between. Catching up on sleep during the weekend could be good for your heart.
Non-alcoholic bars are popping up in a growing number of cities. That's the spirit.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
Baywatch is a fantasy.
When you hear that theme song, it was a wild time, and I was a wild chick.
Jason Momoa exploded.
Carmen was a bombshell.
Pamela Anderson was an icon.
I'm really proud of everything I've done. Almost.
Baywatch was a whirlwind of epic highs and bitter lows.
Everyone likes to watch sexy things.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
They both want to be your next president. Now, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, face to face. The ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Linsey Davis. Tuesday, live on ABC and streaming on Hulu and Disney+.
A car maker walks back its electric vehicle pledge. A retired judge says greed and dishonesty partially caused the deadly Grenfell Tower fire in London. And a 17th century Rembrandt turns up in an attic in Maine. These stories and much more in tonight's rundown.
The Grenfell Tower Inquiry released its final report, calling the deadly 2017 high-rise fire that killed 72 people entirely avoidable and due in part to dishonesty and greed. The damning report primarily blamed the building's flammable cladding that trapped residents inside during the fire and the companies that allegedly manipulated safety tests of those building materials. 3 of the companies implicated have denied responsibility for the deaths. The 17-year-old suspected in the shooting of 49ers rookie Ricky Pearsall appeared in court today. He has not yet entered a plea. San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins says the teen will be charged with attempted murder, assault with a semi-automatic firearm, second-degree attempted robbery, and several gun charges. They were both shot in the scuffle on Saturday in San Francisco's iconic Union Square.
I want it to be clear that San Francisco is not a safe haven for criminal behavior.
Members of the Nordstrom family offered to take the retail giant private for $3.76 billion with the help of Mexican retail company El Puerto de Liverpool. The company already owns nearly 10% of the Nordstrom stock. The family proposed buying investors' shares for $23 each. A special committee of the board of directors will evaluate whether the offer is in the best interest of the company and its investors. Volvo is the latest car maker to reshuffle its electric vehicle plans. Volvo now says by 2030, at least 90% of its sales will come from EVs or plug-in hybrids, a softening of its earlier target. Volvo was promising 2030 would be their last year selling combustion motors. 71-year-old Aline Etienne was reported missing from a Miami nursing home a few weeks ago. And on Monday, a body was brought out of the North Miami facility. Authorities confirmed to the family that it was the body of the father and grandfather, though police have not publicly identified him. Family members said he was stuffed in the closet for 12 days, and officers told them his body was decomposed so much they didn't recognize him. A preliminary police statement noted that the body had a wristband bearing Etienne's name. A painting recently found in the attic of a home in Maine just sold for a record price. The 17th century Rembrandt, known as the Portrait of a Girl, shows a teenage girl in a black dress with a white ruffled collar and was in remarkable condition despite its age. 9 people bid on the Portrait of a Girl at an auction. When the hammer fell, a private collector from Europe paid $1,410,000, which is believed to be a new record for the most expensive piece of art ever sold at auction in Maine.
They are West Coast titans of hip-hop, each changing the game in their own right. And now groundbreaking artists DJ Quick and Jason Martin are joining forces, returning to the music scene with a project that is breathing new life into the genre. The pair sat down with our Megan Wright to talk about their journey into music, iconic collabs of days past, and what's on the horizon as the legends take another step in their career together.
From the streets of Compton to the global stage. For this legend, it all began in 1991 with a future platinum debut, Quick is the Name.
DJ Quick is a guy from Compton that just wanted to make a difference with music.
Where did the name DJ Quick come from?
Well, I hope they don't sue me, but Nestle. Remember Quick, the drink, chocolate, the rabbit? Yeah, so I took it from him. I thought that I was pretty quick in queuing records, like putting on records that match other records tempo-wise. So I was quick at just hurrying up and blending a record with another record.
Rapper and producer DJ Quick has been a cornerstone of West Coast rap for more than 3 decades. Talk to me about what things were like when you were growing up. What was Compton like?
The 70s, Compton, growing up, it was cool. A lot of family everywhere. Getting a little older, I started to see a little dysfunction in the family and whatever. And my thing was to just play music. Ultimately, I fell in love with music to the point that I didn't want to do anything else. School, work, nothing. I just wanted to do music.
As a trailblazer of the G-Funk sound, his work in pop, jazz, soul, gangster rap, and rock genres have cemented him as a legend.
Now it's coming my way and I'm zoned out. At a young age and the whole Spruce Street was my stage.
The start of his journey, 2 turntables and a mic. Do you know when was the first time when you're like, all right, I'm doing this is a hobby, but this is turning into a career?
I figured I'd just go through the neighborhood and play people's parties. I started putting my programs on cassette and started making mixtapes with songs that my friends would be rapping on, or I might rap on some of them. Ultimately, the cassette got into the hands of an executive for Profile Records named Dave Moss, and they started a bidding war over me. We ended up settling at $125,000. It was for 7 albums at that price. Ultimately, it was the first $1 million record deal in hip-hop.
Eventually, Quick stepped on stage and into the spotlight.
I don't know, I'm quick and I'm still delighted. $500 worth of White Star, about to hide it.
His 1991 platinum-selling debut album, Quick is the Name, was a critical and commercial success, introducing his unique blend of funk-infused hip-hop with hit singles, Tonight.
Yo, a day in the life of a player named Quick. I'm just a stubborn kind of fella with a head like a brick.
And born and raised in Compton.
Now everybody wants to know the truth about a brother named Quick. I come from the school of the sly, wicked, and the slick.
I was blessed enough to get a platinum album on my first time out.
He followed up with his 1992 certified gold sophomore album, Way Too Funky, and its lead single, Just Like Compton.
Let me tell a little story about the places that I've been to and the things that I've been through.
Quick dropped a series of albums such as Safe and Sound and Rhythmalism that defined West Coast hip-hop.
Not what you heard, baby. I'm DJ Quick, whether on TV.
Collaborating with legends like Snoop Dogg, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and Tupac. Do you have a favorite era in hip-hop?
My favorite era was when nobody knew who I was. The anonymity made it to where I could have kind of a life. Then my most favorite was when Death Row was like right on the precipice of just destroying everything musically.
From rap to pop to rock, Quick produced hits across genres.
Maroon 5, Whitney, Deborah Cox, Janet Jackson, Tupac, Jadakiss, Jermaine Dupri, Exhibit. And I don't think it hurt that it sold like 100 million records before I was 30.
Despite his success, he almost walked away from music. Tired of industry politics and the grind, Quick considered retirement.
You know, I'm getting all this hate mail. It just wasn't fun at that point. I mean, all my friends were dead. We're trying to save these guys. Like, this is not how it's supposed to go. The music business is supposed to be fun, not gangs. And I felt like I might have been, you know, exacerbating it by being involved in it. So I just wanted to be away from everything.
His focus, renovating his new house. But a call from a friend, fellow rapper and longtime collaborator Jason Martin, helped to reignite his passion and led to a new album and also a fresh start.
Problem calls me, my homeboy, right? We did a record like 2016, Rosecrans. Successful, #1.
Wild times, turn the gangster informer, staying away from that got more excuses than lawyers.
They began working on what would become Chupacabra, a project that reflects the evolution of West Coast rap.
Chupacabra came out of that, out of me wanting to just stop.
Like DJ Quick, Jason Martin is also a veteran of the game, making a significant impact on the West Coast hip-hop scene with a series of releases, including his feature on E40's 2012 certified gold-selling single, Function. Blending LA with the Bay, and his hit single 2012's Like What.
Yeah, I'm just doing my thing, fingers in the sky, banging my game like.
Jason Martin is a producer and songwriter who has collaborated with artists like Dr. Dre, Future, Young Thug, Juicy J, Busta Rhymes, and even Mike Epps. But it was his West Coast connection that jump-started it all.
When I got that first check from Snoop Dogg, that's when it got serious. Terrace Martin, he saw something early in me and he just threw me in to the NWA tree and put me with Corrupt. And then Corrupt and him took me to Snoop. And then the job I got with Snoop put me next to Quick for 6 months. It's like God just started grabbing me and taking me along the ride.
His initial fame came under the stage name Problem, originating on the basketball courts.
I would get picked, they would say Problem, and I wasn't rapping yet. So once the rap thing happened, it was like, oh, that's a cool name. That'd be dope. I'm giving artists problems. Ooh, I'm da-da-da. It wasn't nothing tough about it. Like, nothing. I wasn't trying to be this tough guy.
Was that scary, though, to decide, like, I'm going to change my name? People know you as Problem, and then now you're Jason Martin.
I like to call it an unbrand. I was already Jason Martin, and Jason created Problem, not the other way around.
But as an independent artist, Jason Martin faced challenges, including limited resources, marketing difficulties, and navigating the ever-changing music industry landscape.
Yeah, I was done. I didn't want to do this no more. I hit a real rough patch. I want to say we got popping so fast. Like, everything happened so fast. And then the game gods was like, all right, that's enough of that. Like, if y'all not going to sign to a major, we going to flood y'all. And then streaming came in, and then Instagram became a big deal, and TikTok and all these things that I'm just not familiar with. So it was definitely growing pains.
Jason Martin and DJ Quick, both having gone through career changes, found their way back to music through that single phone call. Why Quick? Out of all the people that you've met over the years and you've worked with over the years.
He's one of the best producers to ever walk the earth. So when you have access to something like that, it's like why not? I'm not about to hear you sit here talking about you done with music, man. You crazy. We're not even gonna play like that. You have too much to offer the world still.
When word got out that the two were working on a new project together, the features came rolling in. And then I also know that there was a flow of artists that were, coming through the doors.
Yeah.
Who came by?
Jay Worthy, Sugar Free, Wiz Khalifa, CeeLo, Larry June, George Clinton, Lil Jon, this kid named Channel Tress out of Compton. He represents a whole nother side of Compton. K Tronada, Thundercat, and we came out with this amazing body of work with a bunch of cool guys that we really like. It was probably the easiest project I've ever been a part of.
Jason Martin made it easy for me. Like, he and, Wiz Khalifa, like the young fly superstars of hip hop, they made it easy.
After years in the game, the two reflect on their status and their Cali reconnection on their single Dern and Spruce from the mid-2024 release, Chupacabra.
Gotta stay on alert, life dangerous but subtle. Problem and Quick back together, now you know you in trouble.
He hadn't put out an album in 7 years. I'm doing a name change, so I understood the hill we were climbing.
And Chupacabra isn't just a body of work. It's the stage for what's next in hip-hop. So what are your hopes for, music in the West and for Compton?
The big mistake of hip-hop in the past was that it got violent and it spilled into the streets, and the streets don't have a filter. My thing is, hopefully, and it will, it just all stays on records. It inspires other people, other kids to follow and to rock out and have faith in their voices, and that their voices could change things, because that's what it's really about. It's about change, evolving. Everything that stopped growing dies, and I don't want hip-hop to die.
Our thanks to Megan for that. Now to the recovery of the 49ers rookie who was shot during a robbery attempt in San Francisco. The 17-year-old suspect appeared in juvenile court today. No plea yet. The district attorney is charging him with attempted murder as Ricky Pearsall returned to the weight room with his teammates. Melissa Dunn is in California with more on the hero police officer who helped save the football pro.
Born and raised in San Francisco's Mission District, veteran police sergeant Joelle Horrell walks the streets of San Francisco every day, patrolling a community close to her heart.
I have 32 years of service, 25 years with SFPD, and I'm still going, and I'm ready to continue to go.
She was stationed in downtown Union Square on Saturday, where San Francisco 49er Ricky Pearsall was shot in the chest during an attempted robbery in San Francisco. The 23-year-old NFL player sustained a gunshot wound to the chest. Sergeant Horrell rushing to his aid.
He's over here and he's like, right, and he's down. Right. I see the wound. I see his head, and he's like, try to rob me. So I'm like, stay calm. And I use my right hand because this is my strong hand to seal the wounds, because he's like, am I gonna die? And I told him, I go, remember, you're gonna be okay. You're strong, right? Because I had told him out there, be strong like you were on the field.
A video captures Pearsall being loaded into an ambulance, and you see right next to him, Sergeant Horrell still by his side. A nearby employee filming the alleged suspect surrounded by police.
Response time matters, and the fact that we were there within a minute, if it had been a 7 or 8 minute response time, that person likely would have got away and As tragic as this incident is, I really hope that it doesn't overshadow the tremendous amount of progress that we've made this year in reducing crime.
In cities across the country, downtown areas have suffered, but San Francisco has been hit especially hard. Several major retailers and malls have closed shops here, citing crime, including department stores like Nordstrom and Saks Off Fifth, even retailers like Office Depot. Macy's Union Square location has plans to shutter. However, the decision, cited by Macy's, is due to sluggish sales. San Francisco's police chief, Bill Scott, says he understands how the city's retail closures and incidents of violent crime can have a chilling effect.
We want people to visit, and we want them to be safe when they are here. We want them to feel safe. The investments that we've made in public safety, the deployments that we have, not in just this area, but other areas where tourists like to come.
Nationwide, robberies are down in the first 6 months of this year. San Francisco also seeing a drop in robberies from over 1,300 last year to under 1,100. This, according to the latest data provided to ABC News from the Major Cities Chiefs Association. But residents have been complaining about the high property crime rates, from shoplifting to car break-ins. Just last year, several cars were broken into by the Dior store right around the corner from where Pearsall was robbed. Chief Scott says reducing crime is something the city has been working on.
Our homicide rate, almost 30%, 38% reduction. So every single crime category is down, and as tragic as this is, we've made a tremendous amount of progress.
Pearsall from the University of Florida was the 49ers' first-round pick in the latest NFL draft.
We are 49ers!
His teammates grateful he survived.
Just super happy that he's alive. We're able to see him and talk to him.
Thank God Ricky's alive and he's healthy, and he's going to make a full recovery.
He's doing remarkably. He's so much better today than he was yesterday. Really, really miraculous. Didn't touch organs. Feels like all the nerve stuff is good. I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
That California teen accused of the shooting, seen here, surrounded by officers, charged in juvenile court with attempted second-degree robbery, assault with a semi-automatic firearm, and attempted murder.
The San Francisco community has been traumatized. And now it's my job and my office's job to make sure that we have accountability in this case.
Our thanks to Melissa Dunn. Starting today, there is now one more place that you can get our award-winning ABC News coverage anytime, anywhere. ABC News Live is now on Disney Plus, around the clock, live, 7 days a week. And of course, that includes the ABC News presidential debate live next Tuesday, September 10th. Get ABC News anywhere you stream news, and now on Disney Plus, too. And that is our show for this hour. I'm Linsey Davis. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, efforts to curb the spread of Mpox have been hampered by a lack of vaccines, but relief may finally be on the way. But first, to the school shooting at a Georgia high school today. At least 2 students and 2 teachers have lost their lives. We have new details into the ongoing investigation.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food.
It's all coming up on GMA 3.
You're going to love it. We'll see you then.
GMA 3, what you need to know. A 3rd hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know.
I love that.
Me too.
whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions.
Operational nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
David, good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo,
Uvalde, Texas.
Edinburgh, Scotland.
Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights wherever you stream your news. Only on ABC News Live.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. This is ABC News Live Prime. I'm Linsey Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We have a lot of news to get to this evening, including the mass shooting in Georgia that left at least 4 dead, more than half a dozen injured in another day of senseless violence in this country. Plus, how the Department of Justice is cracking down on the Russian misinformation threat just 62 days before the 2024 election, and a family that decided to forego the usual swing set for something a little bit bigger in their yard. We'll tell you more coming up. But tonight, just as the school year is getting underway in so many communities, we do begin with a deadly mass shooting inside a Georgia high school. Law enforcement rushed to the scene in Winder, Georgia, about an hour from Atlanta at Appalachia High School. Inside, officers carried weapons, clearing classrooms one by one, leading students away, told to leave everything behind. At least 2 students and 2 teachers are now dead, 9 more wounded and hospitalized. We're learning new details about this investigation, the shooter, and how he was ultimately brought down. As the presidential candidates weigh in on this tragedy, our team is standing by with it all. Faith Abube leads us off from Georgia.
Tonight, terrifying scenes that are now all too familiar. Students pouring out of a school after a 14-year-old fellow student allegedly opened fire. State, local, and federal law enforcement racing to Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia, northeast of Atlanta, just before 10:30 this morning. 2 students and 2 teachers killed, 9 other victims taken to the hospital. The suspect surrendering to authorities without a struggle.
The shooter is in custody. His name is Colt, that's C-O-L-T, Gray. He is a 14-year-old student here at the high school. He will be charged with murder and he will be tried as an adult.
Single file line down this aisle right here after this deputy.
Sophomore Alexandra Romero shooting this video as officers led students to safety from inside the darkened classroom.
Just move with purpose, come on.
It was a small little ball of us, like all holding each other, and I remember like my friends crying. They were all scared, and then 2 police officers came in with their guns. Telling us not to move, that it's still not safe.
At first, Joshua Malik thought it was a drill.
It was very quiet. A lot of people were crying. It was like everybody was scared. People were screaming, calling their moms and everything. And the teacher was making sure everybody was he was trying to keep the class calm and everything.
A text message from student Ethan Clark to his mother, Erin. School shooting right now. I'm scared. Please, I'm not joking. Mom responding instantly. I'm leaving work. Ethan writing, I love you. The students taken out to the football field, some forming a prayer circle. All other schools in the area locked down.
Everybody came to get their children.
Gwendolyn Cook recording this video as she rushed to that football field to find her grandkids, along with hundreds of other frantic, terrified parents. Jonathan Mills, one of many parents who had to run miles to get to their kids because of all the roadblocks in the area.
It hits harder when it's home, you know. It hits harder, you know, as a cop myself, you know, dealing with people you don't know is different, but actually knowing that it's your child that could potentially be the one that you have to hold, or you know, last time you spoke to him was this morning saying, you know, have a good day, that kind of thing. You know, it's different.
Late today, the sheriff nearly overcome.
I never imagined that I would be speaking to the media in my career over something that happened today, the pure evil that happened today. This hits home for me. I was born and raised here. I went to school in this school system. My kids go to this school system. My heart hurts for our community, but I want to make it very clear that hate will not prevail in this county.
Of course, we've seen this all too often. Faith Abube joins us now. Faith, I know you've been there all day talking with students and parents alike. Give us a sense of what you've been seeing and hearing.
Well, Lindsay, we saw parents today rushing to the school here on foot, cell phones in hand, concern on their faces, and then coming out later relieved after reuniting with their children. But of course, there are 2 students, 2 teachers dead, 9 others who are injured. This entire community is in mourning. The school is closed for the rest of the week as investigators try to track down a motive. Lindsay.
Faith Abube, our thanks to you. ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is here now. And Aaron, at that news conference a short time ago, authorities revealed a number of details, including the first information that we're starting to get about that 14-year-old suspect. What can you tell us?
Lindsay, we have seen so many of these cases, haven't we, of armed young men targeting schools. Here, a 14-year-old shooter surrendered when confronted by police. The authorities did not say what weapon he used, how he obtained the weapon, or even how he got it inside the school. The sheriff said it did not appear, though, that Colt Gray had been targeting anyone specifically or had any connections to the 2 teachers and 2 students he allegedly killed. The suspect, we're told, has been answering questions, and investigators have spoken to his parents, but they were quick to point out they do not know why he allegedly attacked his own school, and the sheriff said, Lindsay, they may never know. But what is clear tonight is this is the first deadly K-12 school shooting in Georgia in at least 25 years. Lindsay?
Just terrific. Aaron Katursky, our thanks to you. Both candidates are now responding to this deadly school shooting on the campaign trail. Vice President Harris in New Hampshire saying it doesn't have to be this way. Former President Trump calling the alleged shooter a sick and deranged monster. Meanwhile, the two are set to face off at a high-stakes debate now just 6 days away right here on ABC. Our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce reports.
Tonight, before a crowd in New Hampshire, Vice President Kamala Harris denouncing the school shooting in Georgia, saying it doesn't have to be this way.
It's just outrageous that every day in our country, in the United States of America, that parents have to send their children to school worried about whether or not their child will come home alive. It's senseless. It is. We've got to stop it. And we have to end this epidemic of gun violence in our country once and for all. You know, it doesn't have to be this way.
Former President Donald Trump releasing a statement saying our hearts are with the victims. Trump saying these cherished children were taken from us far too soon by a sick and deranged monster, but making no mention of how to address gun violence. Harris came to New Hampshire to outline her plan to help small businesses, part of a broader effort to bring her economic proposals into focus in the run-up to the debate.
I believe America's small businesses are an essential foundation to our entire economy.
Harris's goal to help launch 25 million small businesses. She would drastically expand tax deductions for startup costs and take steps to reduce red tape and ease regulations, including creating a standard deduction for small businesses. Today, Harris pitting her vision against Trump's.
He plans to give billionaires massive tax cuts and to cut corporate taxes by over $1 trillion, even as they pull in record profits.
Tomorrow, Harris heads to Pittsburgh to hunker down and prepare for the debate, her first face-to-face encounter with her rival. Trump today says he's ready.
You know what I say about debates? And I think this is true with a lot of people, but they don't say it. I've been preparing all my life for this debate.
And boarding her plane, Harris sounding confident, too.
Our thanks to Mary Bruce. And, of course, the ABC News presidential debate just 6 days away next Tuesday night right here on ABC. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump both facing off on that stage. I'll be moderating with our David Muir the debate right here on ABC News Live, 9 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday night. Next tonight, extreme weather across the country, flooding rain in the deep south and across the Gulf. Dangerous driving in Jacksonville, Florida. Video of a driver in San Antonio as the waters rise. The fire department coming to the rescue. And the record heat in the West. Phoenix now with 101 days above 100 degrees. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg of our New York station WABC is tracking it all for us. Hey, Lee, busy night.
Yes, no question, Lindsay. Even though it's quiet here in the Northeast, a front in the south can't get through the Gulf Coast, so it's parked there. Just proof you don't need a tropical system this time of year. Even though the tropics are quiet, we have rainfall that's typical of tropical rains along the Gulf Coast. Flood watches from Corpus Christi all the way to Gulfport. And now that rain's just extending across the coast. So over the next couple of days, the worst rains are along the Louisiana-Mississippi coast. We can have 4 to 6 inches of rain locally. That includes places like New Orleans, where the risk of flash flooding is very real. Over the weekend, the heaviest rain will shift into the northern Gulf, although northern Florida can still have some heavy rains. From the flooding rain to the excessive heat, look what's going on out west. A late season heat wave, San Diego north of 90. You've got San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, all super hot. Of course, Phoenix extending their stretch of days over 100 degrees. They've had more than 100 days of that. And Las Vegas, the hottest summer on record. Well, tomorrow, Portland approaches 100 and Seattle near 90. That heat won't ease till the end of the weekend. Remember, areas of the country like this don't necessarily have an air conditioning as a staple of their appliances in their home, so it'll take a while for that heat to die down. It continues in the Southwest. Plenty of summer on the weather app. Lindsay? All right, Lee Goldberg for us. Thanks so much, Lee. The Justice Department is sounding the alarm about Russia's efforts to interfere with our elections and taking action against RT, a state-run news agency that broadcasts around the world that they say spent millions on a social media propaganda campaign. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, the Attorney General warning the American people that Russia's efforts to interfere in this year's U.S. presidential election is intensifying. The Biden administration announcing new sanctions and charges, alleging that senior aides to Vladimir Putin are engaged in a sweeping operation aimed at supplying millions of Americans with this information.
We have no tolerance for attempts by authoritarian regimes to exploit our democratic system of government.
The government seized 32 bogus website domains purchased by Russian security services that mirror legitimate news sites, creating fake stories and using authentic-looking logos as part of a campaign called Doppelganger. For example, this looks like a story from the Washington Post about Ukraine, but it isn't. And also today, DOJ bringing charges against 2 employees of RT, also known as Russia Today, alleging the state-controlled media company funded by Russia is still at it after being forced out of the U.S. in 2022. The FBI saying it uncovered a scheme involving nearly $10 million laundered through a network of foreign shell entities to covertly fund a Tennessee media firm. That company posting nearly 2,000 videos on social media that have garnered more than 16 million views on YouTube alone.
Our thanks to Pierre Thomas. Tonight, the Israeli military says chilling new images show the tunnel where the bodies of 6 hostages were found. They were killed 48 to 72 hours before they were discovered. Marcus Moore reports from Israel.
This is the Hamas tunnel shaft where the IDF says 6 hostages, including Israeli-American Hersh Goldberg Poland, were executed just 48 to 72 hours before IDF forces recovered their bodies. ABC News could not independently verify the location, but the IDF claims access to the tunnel was hidden in what appears to have been a child's bedroom. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tonight standing firm, saying there will be no deal with Hamas to free the remaining hostages without Israeli control over the Philadelphia corridor along the border with Egypt.
I'm willing to make a deal. I made one already. But leaving Philadelphia does not advance the release of the hostages.
The White House today tight-lipped, but earlier this week pushing back, saying Netanyahu originally agreed to a deal in May that will remove troops along that corridor.
That's been on the table now for how many months? We still believe these gaps can be narrowed. We still believe it's an achievable outcome.
Right now, with hopes of a ceasefire out of reach, anger and protest grip Israel for a 4th straight day.
We need to seal the deal. Please save us, help us. We can't breathe anymore.
Such desperation. Our thanks to Marcus Moore. Now to the war in Ukraine. Russia unleashed a deadly wave of missile and drone strikes in the far west of Ukraine, an area usually safe from such attacks. This is President Zelensky carried out a major shakeup in his cabinet. Here's Tom Suvi-Burridge.
This is the horrifying moment explosions rocked Lviv in western Ukraine, in videos circulating online. A barrage of Russian missiles and drones, killing at least 7, injuring dozens more. Residential buildings obliterated. This man, bloodied and wounded, being led out of his home. Medics treating Yaroslav Basilievich, overcome with grief, as bodies were removed from the scene. Comforted by first responders, he is the only one in this family photo to survive the attack. His wife and 3 daughters, the youngest aged 14, all killed. Those brutal strikes in the west coming as Russian forces steadily advance in eastern Ukraine, now just a few miles from the strategically important town of Pokrovsk. New evacuations ordered there today. While inside Russia, Ukraine now occupying hundreds of square miles of territory in the Kursk region. Ukrainian forces there digging in.
Our thanks to Tom Suvi-Burridge. Starting today, there is now one more place that you can get our award-winning ABC News coverage anytime, anywhere. ABC News Live is now on Disney Plus, around-the-clock live, 7 days a week. And, of course, that includes the ABC News presidential debate live next Tuesday, September 10th. Get ABC News anywhere you stream your news, and now on Disney Plus, too. And we still have much more to get to coming up. MXM Tune is here ahead of the announcement of her 3rd album, and she's bringing all her breakup angst, personality, and honesty with her. But next, choking smoke and canceled flights, why fires in the Brazilian rainforest are the most severe of the last decade.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In rolling forward, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland. Let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines. From southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut. From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
Baywatch is a fantasy. When you hear that theme song, it was a wild time, and I was a wild chick.
Jason Momoa exploded.
Carmen was a bombshell.
Pamela Anderson was an icon.
I'm really proud of everything I've done. Almost.
Baywatch was a whirlwind of epic highs and bitter lows.
Everyone likes to watch sexy things.
They both want to be your next president. Now, finally, Kamala Harris.
Do we believe in the promise of America?
Donald Trump.
We will
soon be a great nation again.
Face to face, historic. The ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Linsey Davis. Tuesday live on ABC and streaming on ABC News Live, Hulu, and Disney+. The ABC News presidential debate.
Reporting from the 2024 Democratic Convention in Chicago, I'm Jay O'Brien. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We're tracking several headlines around the world. A group of migrants attempting to cross the Channel to England faced off with French police and the Coast Guard today. The police ran after them as the group tried to embark on a dinghy. This latest confrontation comes just a day after 12 migrants died when their boat capsized on its way across the Channel to Britain. The Democratic Republic of Congo expects to receive its first delivery of Mpox vaccine doses tomorrow, much needed relief for a country at the epicenter of the Mpox outbreak. The World Health Organization declared Mpox a global public health emergency last month, and efforts to curb the disease's spread have been hampered by a lack of vaccines. Fires are ravaging the Amazon rainforest in Brazil and blanketing urban areas in thick smoke. Stores in the state of Rondônia are out of face masks and air purifiers, and more than 40 flights have been canceled due to the smoke. Dreamy bedroom pop meets deeply personal lyrics. YouTube-grown star Maya, a.k.a. MXM Toon, is taking the next step in her already storied career with a new twangy single that takes us inside a post-breakup daydream. Let's take a listen. That was I Hate Texas off her upcoming and soon to be announced third album. Maya, kind enough to join us now in studio. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So you released I Hate Texas earlier this summer, and you describe it as a post-breakup escape fantasy. Explain what that means.
I think it's, you know, breakups aren't a fun thing to go through. I feel like to cope with it, you got to have a little bit of fun, and I feel like for me that was translated through writing like my first country pop song ever. Yeah.
Why do you hate Texas?
I don't actually hate Texas. It did just make for a really good lyric, so sorry to the Texans out there.
Have you heard from your ex who sparked this breakup song?
Zero. I've not heard from him. I would be scared to hear from him, I think.
Do you think he knows that he was the impetus?
He probably does,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of fun. So you actually work with all women on this upcoming album. Why was that so important to you?
I think it's, you know, it's a really vulnerable thing to write music, especially when you're writing songs that are really deeply personal about your life. And a lot of the things that I write about are about my experiences of being a woman and growing up. And it felt really important and pivotal to have the people in the room with me kind of innately understand what that experience was like, and so
including the producers and engineers and writers.
Yeah, and how often do you even see that happen? It's really rare.
Very true.
Yeah.
Tell us what we might be able to expect from your upcoming album and when.
Well, the album called Liminal Space is coming out on November 1st.
Okay.
And it is so much around the last 2 years of my life and kind of being in this transitory period of not really knowing exactly where I am and posing a lot of questions and maybe not always having the answers to them, but being okay with kind of rummaging around in the darkness a little bit, yeah.
What actually inspires your songwriting?
I think so much of it is like my diary entries. I wasn't really big into journaling growing up, and when I found songwriting, it felt so easy to translate what I was feeling into lyrics. And so the things that inspire me are just figuring out ways to process whatever I'm thinking about in any moment.
Tell us about your new single, drops tomorrow with indie pop band Kiro Bonito.
Yeah, it's called The Situation, and I am so over the moon that I got to work with KKB. Sarah Bonito is one of my favorite artists that I was listening to at the time when I started making music in the first place. And it's all about girlhood and growing up and how society can sometimes feel like your value diminishes as you get older when that is not true at all. Yeah.
Tell us about, we've been looking at some of the clips of your videos, and are those all inspired just by your own sense of this is what I want to project to the world?
For sure. I'm super involved in the visual aspect of everything I do with my music. I edited the music video for I Hate Texas. I am super involved in storyboarding for anything that exists beyond it. It's really fun for me to be able to translate what I'm making musically into something visual.
You, of course, just came off of a summer tour. What is it about playing live before an audience that you love most?
It is something that still feels really new to me because I started on the internet, but I think there's something so tangible, obviously, about being in front of a lot of people. Nothing really compares to it. Being able to, like, hear people's voices singing along to you, it feels like, I don't know, magical, really, yeah.
Well, all the best to you. Continued success, Maya. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You can listen to her song, I Hate Texas, though she really doesn't, wherever you stream your music, and stay tuned for the album. And still to come, how one DIY dad got to work building his kids a summer project they will not soon forget.
It's the true crime story of the summer.
The trial of Karen Reed is now underway. She's accused of killing her boyfriend, a Boston police officer.
Pleading not guilty.
Now, Karen Reed speaking out fully for herself. The all-new 2020, Friday night on ABC.
Let's go. The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dead ahead! Hang on!
We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
Betrayal is one of the hardest types of trauma to overcome.
This is her knight in shining armor.
Everything felt right. All of a sudden, I found this hidden folder. I opened it. I don't think I can say it. I'm sorry. It's shocking. My stomach just dropped. He just really didn't think I had it in me to do something. So I did.
Betrayal, A Father's Secret, the all-new season on Hulu.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag...
Not a tear in it.
How important it made to USA. Great work.
Hi. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail? David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. ABC News Live, honored with 8 Emmy nominations, more than any other streaming news network. And ABC News Live Prime with Linsey Davis, the first and only streaming show nominated for Best Outstanding Live News Program. This is ABC News Live.
Finally tonight, a simple swing set in the backyard. That wasn't going to work for one North Texas family. Here's our Danny New with their story.
What'd you do over the summer? Oh, I went to baseball camp. What about you, Felipe and Evelyn? Oh, well, we built a small amusement park with our dad.
I asked my kid if you want to build a little truck, wood truck together so we can be more outside.
And then I said, can we just build a roller coaster instead?
A few months ago, Fabio here took on the task that many parents attempt at the beginning of summer, making sure his 8-year-old twins don't spend their break on the couch.
Good job.
But why didn't he say no when Felipe wanted to build a roller coaster in the front yard of their North Texas home?
To show them that everything's possible and can be done.
Now, thankfully, other super parents around the country have proven this can be done. A little while ago, we introduced you to Scott in Colorado, a pilot who built a roller coaster in his backyard for his then 3-year-old son, West.
I guess I to have it go fast.
You like to have it go fast? Mission accomplished, and with a nifty DIY approach.
This is 2 planters glued on top of each other. This part here that he sits in is, they use it for home brewing. I think it's just like a brewing barrel.
For Fabio, Felipe, Evelyn, and their older sister, Emily, after a little over a month, their personal roller coaster was ready to go fast as well.
When they got old, they won't remember that. They will not remember other things, but they will remember that.
But Felipe says he'll remember one more thing about this summer project.
That my dad loves me a lot.
The lengths that parents go to for their children. Our thanks to Danny New for bringing us that. And that is our show for tonight. I'm Linsey Davis. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, of course, abcnews.com, and now on Disney+. Thanks so much for streaming with us. The news never stops. Have a great night.
whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting. From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, start here. What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions. Operational nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you, David. Good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
I watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. They both want to be your next president. Now, finally, Donald Trump.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Kamala Harris.
Do we believe in the promise of America?
Face to face, historic. The ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Linsey Davis. Tuesday live on ABC and streaming on ABC News Live, Hulu, and Disney+. The ABC News presidential debate.
I'm Tom Sufi Burridge reporting from Tel Aviv. These people are calling to bring the hostages home. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
This is Nightline.
Matt's going to take us over the hill. We're going to drop down into Trenton. There's a road on the north side of the house.
This isn't your standard biker group out for a joyride.
If we can get somebody to respond, ask them if she's there. They probably will say no. Let's rock and roll.
And today, riding past the epic snow-capped mountains of Utah, the men and women of Road Warriors for the Missing are chasing down a lead. Looking for 17-year-old Alintra Fisher, who hasn't been seen for over a year and a half. She's one of the 8 children from a breakaway offshoot of Mormonism who have disappeared from remote towns dotting the Rocky Mountains. Their mothers were all members of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the FLDS. Law enforcement sees them as runaways, but the moms are convinced it all ties back to the FLDS.
Because these children believe that the mothers are evil, they are going to do everything that the FLDS tells them to do.
Known for their bouffant hairdos, prairie dresses, large families with multiple sister wives, but most of all, for polygamy. The sect infamously led by now imprisoned, convicted pedophile Warren Jeffs. Frustrated by the lack of progress, these mothers of the missing are now working with these bikers to find their children.
Everyone believes the outside world is pure evil.
And who they fear ran back to the church they fought so hard to escape.
Sulam's absence has left a void that no words can fully capture.
It's an unlikely pairing, these tough-looking bikers and these women who were told all their lives to keep sweet.
People have seen her in a certain area. We have had surveillance there, thanks to the Road Warriors.
Elizabeth Roundy is Alintra Fisher's mother. She disappeared at 16 from her mom's Idaho home on New Year's Day, 2023.
It's just been very sad.
I would never have expected to work with the motorcycle crew, but they've been very decent and very respectful.
Not a day goes by that Elizabeth doesn't ache for her missing daughter.
It's been a very frustrating situation to me with the law enforcement. They say they're looking.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office told ABC News that we are still actively working Elintra's case. Unfortunately, we have not had any new leads.
The police do a great job. They've got a whole city to watch. While they're watching after a city, we're looking for a specific child.
Tanya Toole runs a nonprofit, Holding Out Help, that helps FLDS members leave the sect.
The Road Warriors have been working this case for many months now.
She found these bikers on the internet and put them in touch with the mothers.
They're just good old boys that ride